such a different, such a the contrast between the services is so stark. All right, here we go. Welcome to UU Asheville. Bienvenidos a UU Asheville hoy. My name is Timothy Browning, TK Browning. Well, Timothy snuck out. TK Browning. I'm a tall white male with a mullet. I have blue glasses, a vest, and a blue checkered shirt. We've started doing that as in GA to visually introduce ourselves for anyone that happens to not have video on their computer who is visually impaired. Visual descriptions are becoming more of a norm in UU circles. But my mullet is luxurious. Worship today is led by the Reverend Lisa Garcia-Sampson, the Executive Director of the Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry of North Carolina. I will be your worship associate today. We're glad you're here, wherever you come from, whoever you love, however you identify, whatever's on your heart. We're grateful that you're here today. We'll begin today with the gift of our opening music. Can I get my chalice lighter helper here? Lucy. Our chalice lighting words today were written by the Reverend Lisa Garcia-Sampson. Oh, let me go to the store. In these wild, historic, and uncertain times, we gather to remember who we are and who we belong to and what we are called to do. As we light this chalice, we kindle the spirit of the great turning, the movement for justice alive in this nation today. May we feel it in our bones and in the stillness of this hour. May we sense it calling our name. Please rise in body or spirit for singing hymn number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Thanks, Will. All right, time for our wisdom story. We got a book today called We Are the Builders. It's up on the screen as well. Yeah, perfect. Welcome to our community day. Ready to find your role to play? My name is Ramla. I'm your guide. Follow me and stay by my side. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our town. Help new friends, plant trees in the ground. The time is now. Let's all play. Listen and learn. What moves your heart? I neglected to, this is written by Deepa Ayers, a big part of our movement for justice in North Carolina and one of the featured speakers at GA this summer. What moves your heart? The book asks. We are the builders. We form and forge, construct and fix, improve homes with nails and bricks. See all those old desks, tables, and chairs, good as new, with some repairs. Who wants to join the builders? Anyone want to join the builders? We are the caregivers. We comfort, console, soothe, and cheer. Care kits for all, near and dear. Acts of service, words that mend. How can I help my new friend? Who wants to join the caregivers? We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect, stay prepared. Storms brewing, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits. Gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who wants to join the frontline responders? That's a great name. We are the disruptors. We declare, demand, demonstrate, call for change. Don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners, and beats. Meet and march out in the streets. Who wants to join the disruptors? We are the experimenters. We scan, invent, and improvise, solve hard problems with fresh eyes. What if these used bottles and rags could become backpacks and bags? Who wants to join the experimenters? We are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world where we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free, bright futures, that's what we see. Who wants to join the visionaries? We are the weavers. We stitch, we braid, we intertwine. Common threads link hearts and minds. When people fight or disagree, find what connects you and me. Who wants to join the weavers? We are the healers. We renew, restore, and relieve. Tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes when the world is too much, we nurture with breath and touch. Who wants to join the healers? We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art. We bring joy and love heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past. Histories cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers? Oh, of the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could become a guide like me. Show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer. Share wisdom, honest and clear. Now that it's clear what we can each do, we want to hear from all of you. What role would you choose? Who would you be? How will you change our community? Thanks. Do you want to? Did you want to say something? A way to join? No? Okay. Look like you did. Anybody else? Really inspired? All right. That's a way you could join to help out your community. What's a skill that you have?
What do you want to do?
I want to build puzzles.
Build puzzles, yeah. Thanks. Was there somebody else? Who wants? Did you have something? Dancing? I feel like it's dancing, huh?
I like dancing, and I like dancing while the songs come on.
Yep. So yeah, let's help our kids dance their way to faith formation today. Please bring our kids out as you go.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Lisa, and in the spirit of descriptions, of visual descriptions, I'm a short white woman with very short gay hair, and I'm wearing a yellow and orange stole. Please join me in a time of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love, Spirit that lives within us and between us and among us right now. Within this beloved community and in our work for collective liberation, may we continue to weave the web of trust and care to keep our bodies and spirits safe. But more importantly, may our bodies be the site of healing and joy and liberation. And may we refuse to deplete our spirits in orientation to the forces of hate and fear. May our collective story not be that which we are fighting against, beloveds, but what we are fighting for. For ours is the work of creation. Ours is the work of inviting people into an irresistible movement rooted in our faith that a new North Carolina is possible. And at the center of our work is love and joy and belonging and the spirit of abundance. These are the things we are fighting for, and these are the things we are fighting with. May we know it deep in our hearts that this is the call of our faith. Amen. Please join me now in a brief moment of silence.
Now is the time to acknowledge our joys and sorrows with a ritual of water and rocks. For all that grieves our heart, we add salt to brine the water in these vessels. For all that brings our heart joy or celebration, we add flower petals. We invite you now to come up, grab a rock of your own, place it in one of the vessels. We start from the outside and flow back in, back to our seats. Thank you. Okay. Would anyone else like a rock brought to them? Good. If you have shared a joy, know that we rejoice with you. If you have shared a sorrow, know that you are held in love and care by this community. We add these last rocks for all the joys and the sorrows of our community carried by those who are not present with us physically today. Our community is one, gathered or apart.
This weekend, I've been sitting on my balcony witnessing the eruption of spring color and life, including my once fragile seedlings that have begun to flourish. From their humble beginnings, they found their footing and their strength against the wind and fluctuating temperatures of early spring. And soon their stems will be thick and strong, and their tendrils will wrap around my railing and my balcony furniture and anything else it can find, allowing the plants to reach towards the sun and produce magnificent flowers and fruit. In a way, our movement for justice is like one of my climbing plants, rooted in the legacies of all who have come before us, nourished by the rich soil of relationships and trust and skills and experiences, and constantly growing larger and stronger. In the work ahead of us, may we strive to be the tendrils of movement, not the flower or the stem or even the leaves, but the tendrils. In these times when the harsh winds threaten to snap or topple the growing plant of movement, may we be those flexible appendages that stretch and grow and wrap around stabilizing forces, helping the greater whole to reach towards the sky and bear abundant fruit.
We're going to sing together, Draw the Circle Wide. This is a rehearsal for Music Sunday, which is in 2 weeks. So here's the roadmap for how we're going to do this song, because you haven't sung all of it. You've only sung the end. So the choir will sing the first verse, and then we'll repeat, and you'll sing the first verse with us. Then the choir will sing the first refrain, and we'll repeat that, and you'll sing that with us. Then will have a solo while they're oohing, and then we'll all join in for the second refrain, which we'll sing 3 times. Second refrain we'll sing 3 times, and all of that will be, all the instructions will be on the screens. So you'll know, and I will cue you to the best of my ability. Please rise and body your spirit.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our gown. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our goal. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. And in our sadness, oh, in our grief, when all the pain and no relief, We will hold you until the storm subsides. Draw the circle wide. Standing side by side. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. The one stands alone, standing side by side. Standing side by side. Draw the circle wide, draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide.
Yeah, I love that song. That was a blessing. Thank you. Well, good morning. How y'all doing? It is such a joy to be here in Asheville, and I don't know how this happened, but this is my very first time preaching in this sanctuary. I'm so grateful for the invitation. And again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Reverend Lisa Garcia-Sampson, and I proudly lead your Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry here in North Carolina. And before I get started, I need to express on behalf of UUs across the state of North Carolina our continued love and support for you and your community as you continue to recover from Hurricane Helene. There are people across the state who may not know you, but they love you and they have your back. UU Justice NC's mission is to joyfully organize UUs to co-create a transformative movement for justice through spiritual grounding, collaboration, and imagination. And we do so by working in close relationship with our 28 UU congregations, over 5,000 UUs in the state of North Carolina, in addition to our national UU partners and, of course, our beloved statewide partners for justice. We gather here today in incredibly scary and uncertain times. Over these last few months, this new administration has continued to dismantle the power and the purpose of essential government agencies like USAID, the EPA, the Department of Education, and FEMA. This government continues to take away the livelihoods of tens of thousands of hardworking civil servants across our nation and is threatening to cut essential services like SNAP benefits and Medicaid to pay for tax cuts for the wealthy. We are seeing a reckless destabilization of global markets and the casual floating of ideas to annex Canada and to run for a third term. And this one cannot be overstated. Beloveds, the continued disappearing and detainment of legal residents of this country, not for illegal actions, but for exercising their constitutional right to free speech. This is textbook fascist, autocratic behavior. when the President of the United States uses the power of the government to punish his enemies and those who he deems to be a threat, whether it be students, universities, the media, politicians, law firms, judges, and the list goes on. Beloveds, these are very scary times. And of course, that playbook of fascism and of white Christian nationalism and defunding social services and the threats to our democracy and checks and balances in our government, it's all happening in this state too. In these times, it is so easy to fall into despair, to give into fear, to feel that we are powerless spectators watching history unfold. But just remember that that's how they want us to feel. They want to rob us of our hope and our courage through displays of overwhelming force. They want to rob us of our imaginations because they know that, as Lucille Clifton once said, that we cannot create what we cannot imagine. And what they want most is for us to doubt our power. This moment is a test of our faith in ourselves and in one another. So how do we live into our faith in these moments? Well, first, let's be real. We need to be a part of the largest nonviolent resistance movement in the history of our country. We need to protest. We need to boycott. We need to resist. I hear we've got something going on in Asheville this afternoon. Hope to see some of you there. And we also know that the story of our movement, that the heart of our movement is not what we are fighting against. It is what we are fighting for. We need to commit ourselves fully to the movement in our state that is creating a North Carolina that we deserve. We need to believe, to really, truly believe that it is possible, and then we need to will it into existence. And if you doubt our power, then let me remind you that we are the home of truth tellers like Nina Simone and Maya Angelou and Pauli Murray. We are the home of the lunch counter sit-ins and the Moral Monday movement. We are the people who passed Medicaid expansion when nobody said it was possible. And we are the movement that is building a massive network of safety and care in this moment to fight natural disasters and attacks on our democracy and extremist groups all at the same time. What I'm saying is, do not forget who we are and the legacy we have inherited and what we are building together. And don't doubt the role of Unitarian Universalists either in this moment, because we are finding our power too. UUs from the mountains to the coast, from our small congregations in deep red towns to our big churches in our big cities, we are finding our power and we are finding our people, our partners in the work of liberation. And just one recent example of that power was our 2024 UU the Vote campaign. Who here got involved in UU the Vote? See some hands. Awesome. Last year, UU the Vote was by far the largest activation of UUs in the history of our state. With over 1,100 UUs across 21 North Carolina congregations getting involved. That is nearly 1 in 5 UUs in North Carolina. And together, we reached out to over 100,000 North Carolina voters, and we did so in deep partnership with our friends in the movement. Calling over 60,000 North Carolinians throughout the fall with Pro-Choice NC and Carolina Jews for Justice and National UU the Vote, knocking on thousands of doors with North Carolina Asian Americans, and right here in Asheville with Ivan, with the Interfaith Voter Action Network. Tens of thousands of postcards, not to mention You Can Vote volunteers and Democracy NC vote protectors and rides to the polls and ballot curing, and the list goes on. And last year, UU Justice NC was proud to co-lead the creation of this movement's first ever statewide rapid response safety network. We recruited and trained 140 de-escalators across every nook and cranny of this state, a third of whom were UU, and we quickly were able to respond during all 17 days of voting to reported threats at the polls by groups like the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys and the Moms for Liberty. And we are now exploring how to make this new technology a permanent element of our state's community safety efforts. We just talked about the experimenters. That's what we're doing. Beloveds, this is the power of our faith. There are a couple things I want to say about UU the Vote. The first one is this. Just a few minutes ago, I celebrated that 1 in 5 UUs participated in this campaign. This is a massive accomplishment for us. And you can do the math. That means that 1 in 5 UUs didn't. And sure, some of us were focused on partisan work, and I'm sure we missed some others in the count, but still, it is safe to say that the majority of UUs in our state and in our nation did not participate in last year's election cycle beyond voting. And we could dwell on that, and I think we should a little. But ultimately, we need to see that as an opportunity. We need to see that as evidence that we have just barely glimpsed the power of this faith. Friends, we are just getting started. Second, I want to highlight the partners that we worked with at a state level. These are not merely election year partners. These are 365 days a year, every year partners. We need partnerships like this now more than ever because the only way through this, the only way forward is together. At a state level, which is UU Justice NC's lane, we are proud to belong to a massive movement ecosystem that is Blueprint North Carolina. It is a network of over 120 organizations moving in formation with shared values and shared strategies. I'm talking about our frontline organizations like Transmission here in Asheville, all the way up to your big guys like the ACLU and Common Cause and Democracy North Carolina. We are all working under the same umbrella. We are in lockstep with shared vision and strategy and tactics, and this is how we win. I say this to remind us that despite the challenges we face, we have never been more prepared for this moment. We are organized, we are rooted in shared values, and we are growing. Because many in this moment are yearning for a deep sense of power and purpose and connection, and we've got it. This is how we win, by claiming our power, claiming our place in the movement, and believing that the sum of our actions can change everything. Today's story for all ages was a wonderful book called We Are the Builders by Deepa Iyer. And in this story, the guide asks the children to choose how they would help with Community Day. As was mentioned, Deepa Iyer is not just a wonderful children's author, she is also a renowned justice advocate and organizer. And her social change ecosystem map has inspired and informed our movement for nearly a decade, laying out all of the roles that are essential to create change. And these are the roles that you heard in the book today: builders, healers, artists, storytellers, bridge builders, frontline responders, caregivers, weavers, disruptors, visionaries, experimenters. And in the story, a question was asked that reverberates far beyond the pages of the book. She says, "The time is now. What role will you play?" Lately, I've been thinking a lot about all of the many roles required in our movement, and I decided to create a list of just some of the things that our partners have asked for UU Justice NC to contribute in the last couple of years. Our movement has needed sign makers, musicians, pickup trucks, a building open from 9 to 5 that can receive deliveries, a generator, a choir, legal observers in Carteret County, someone who can drive supplies from Winston-Salem to Charlotte that afternoon, a worship space in Rocky Mount, mutual aid donors, volunteers who will write letters to the editor, speak at school board meetings, show up at the General Assembly, pack the courthouse, and people who can drive around in a circle and beep their horn during a car caravan. I'm not done. Clergy who can escort Waffle House employees back to work after a strike, home hospitality for those coming from out of state to seek an abortion, housing for trans youth, again I will say housing for trans youth, Ice Watch volunteers, abortion clinic escorts, street medics, drag story hour safety team members, people who could drive farm workers to their annual union meeting, people with good penmanship, a kitchen and a dining hall that can feed 100 people that night, childcare volunteers, a large meeting space with live streaming capabilities, this one will do, candy bag assemblers, and door-to-door canvassers. Just a small part of the list of things we've been asked to do. I invite you for a moment to think about your abundant congregation, your physical infrastructure, your skills, your capacity, your resources, that sweet house you have that I hear about down the road. Think about it. Then combine that with all of the resources of all the other UU congregations in the state. Then combine that with all the values-aligned churches, synagogues, mosques, temples, and gurdwaras in North Carolina. That, my friends, is exactly what we are building. This year, UU Justice NC is excited to help lead the creation of Blueprint North Carolina's first ever statewide faith table. Since last year, we have been working in partnership with Carolina Jews for Justice, Muslim Women For, the Quakers, the Council of Churches. We've got everyone at the table to organize our network of resources and skills and capacities in a way that we never have before. And we officially launched this table just last week in Raleigh, and we had over 90 faith leaders, clergy, and lay leaders across the state in attendance spanning 6 faith traditions. We are not playing. Building an asset map of faith communities stretching from the mountains to the ocean who are in service to our movement in areas of advocacy, infrastructure, safety, and care. And by the way, we are in many ways looking to you, looking to Western North Carolina as a blueprint for what we need to build statewide. Not only in your region's powerful response to the impacts of Hurricane Helene, but also in the development of your Interfaith Voter Action Network, IVAN, which is now Ian. This is one of the most powerful examples of interfaith work happening in North Carolina today, and you should be proud of it. Let me ask you this. In the list of things that I just read a moment ago, the things that our partners need, who here heard a role that you are already doing or have the skills to do or simply the willingness to do? Show of hands. And of course, we cannot be rigid in our understanding of how we are meant to contribute. In the words of Reverend Elizabeth Wynn, we must, quote, be willing to live our lives in the shape of what is being asked. I think of your neighboring congregation in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is the headquarters, essentially, of the Proud Boys in our state. The Proud Boys, who are a constant presence and threat at school board meetings and LGBTQ events and polling places and beyond. Over the last several years, the UU congregation in Wilmington has recruited and trained and activated over 40 members of their congregation doing de-escalation work against the Proud Boys and the Moms for Liberty. And let me tell you, the majority of those people are in their 60s and 70s and never would have imagined that this would be the role that they would play. But it's what their community needed them to do, and they answered that call. And this work has changed them. In the weeks and months to come, rest assured that you will hear more about how to sign up for all of these roles that we are building as part of the Faith Table. In the meantime, though, let's talk about what is needed now. And I'll try to be quick. Right now, federal Medicaid funding is at serious risk of being cut, especially following the release of this week's Congressional Budget Office report, which is proposing the largest cuts to SNAP and Medicaid in the program's history. We need to get on the phones to Senator Tillis and Bud and to your congressperson, Chuck Edwards, and tell them that we did not fight for 10 years to expand Medicaid to 650,000 people in this state to lose it now. We need to remind them that 1 in 4 people in North Carolina are on Medicaid, including children, people in nursing homes, and those living with disabilities and chronic illness, and this funding is essential to the health of rural hospitals in your area. In this moment, we need volunteers to do community safety work, and that includes getting trained in de-escalation or as street medics or as protest marshals, and volunteer on occasion to be a part of teams providing safety presence at events like drag story hours and pride events and protests. If this is something that interests you, please come see me after service. I am not your quintessential security guard. You may have noticed my prowess, my physical prowess, but we all find our role. Finally, I invite you to consider joining us every Friday at 11 a.m. on Zoom for UU Justice NC's Friday Action Hour. How many Friday Action Hour folks do we have in the house today? All right, we've got some proud Friday Action Hour members in the house. Every Friday, UUs and friends from across the state gather together to reflect on the week's news, to hear directly from our partner organizations, and then take action. And if you can't make it on Friday, you can still sign up and get a powerful and important list of actions every week. And when I say every week, I really mean it. This Friday, we will celebrate our 260th straight week of gathering. Like I said, we do not play. This week, we'll have part 2 of our immigrant rights advocacy focus in partnership with the ACLU of North Carolina, Muslim Women For, and the Carolina Migrant Network. Join us in combating the wave of anti-immigrant legislation that is currently moving through the state legislature. Beloveds, this is a moment where we are called to interrogate the limits of our imagination for what is possible. This is a moment to invite everyone into this powerful, transformative movement guided and sustained by the vision of a North Carolina where we can all thrive and all know safety and all know love. May we hold that vision. May we claim our power to build a new way. May we hear the movement calling our name. Beloveds, the time is now. What role will you play? Amen. Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 128, For All That Is Our Life.
Thanks to the choir, thanks to Les, thanks for Simon up on the music, up on the audio today. If you are visiting today for the first or second time, welcome. Raise your hand if you're here for the first or second time if you want to. I don't think we're going to introduce today. I think we're not going to do introducing, but if you wave your hand and say hi to us. Welcome. And we have Trevor. Is Trevor in the house? Trevor just walked out. The Reverend Trevor, did you know that Reverend Trevor is also an ordained reverend in a different denomination? He is our connections coordinator. You find him out front. He would love to chat with you and say hi. Our announcements run at slides at the beginning of the service. You can get them in our newsletter. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, the information is on our website. We're going to now have a couple of announcements from our congregation. We're going to start with a board announcement from Ken.
Gee, I didn't know I was going to get in on all that good noise of just walking up here. Welcome back, Trevor. Well, first of all, good morning, and or actually it's almost afternoon now, so good afternoon. Be the first to wish you a good afternoon today. A week ago, if you were here, you heard me make an announcement that for the first time in 5 years, we actually have a chance to have a balanced budget this year, and that's amazing. So. Thank you for all of you that have made contributions to make that possible. However, there's still a gap. And several members of our congregation got together and have raised or pledged $25,000 to match anybody that will increase your donation or make a special or make a gift between now and the 28th of this month. They'll match it dollar for dollar. And if we do that, we'll have a balanced budget this year. And it's amazing. I'm going to be in the Sandberg Hall, and I'll have some forms and information, can answer questions for you. But again, if we work together, we've got 10 days to close this gap and take advantage of this match. So if you've been putting that off or thinking about it, now is the time to do it. Thank you.
I guess I don't need an introduction. I'm going to slow down a minute and tell you, thank you, Reverend Lisa, for all these things. We're doing some amazing work. I get emotional here every week. Sometimes it's sad because things are happening, But I can tell you that this congregation gives me more joy than anything I've ever experienced from a faith community, and you have become my friends. And in that, I have become a part of a committee called the Fundraising Committee. I've talked to you a couple times. We've got another event coming, and I want to use the word joy synonymously with that, because joy in and of itself can be an act or a piece of activism, if you will. And we're going to do that. We've decided to have a talent show. And I can tell you we have a great show coming for you. We've got about 13 acts. They range in age from 4 to senior status, but I don't want to give anything up that way. 61, one of them, there you go. All right? And we run the gamut, the spectrum of people. We have all kinds of people, and it's thrilling to me to do this. And Jenny Jones and Suzette have both been working incredibly hard on this. I'm not asking you for money today. I know we do that a lot, but I'm not doing that today. I'm asking you again for your help. We need to let people know this is happening. There are over 200 seats in this building, in this room to fill. We've got Sandberg Hall to fill. We need your help. We need to fill it up. We've got flyers for you to share wherever you can post them. We can give you digital copies to put on your social media, your friends, your community. We need your help in getting us there. I'll also gladly sell you a ticket, and I can do that for you in Sandberg Hall afterward. But I want to thank you all for the work you have been giving to help us. Bunny Breakfast doubled in size at this point for us because of your help. I'm asking you to do that again. I'm not asking for your money, just a little bit of your time. So if you'll help us out, we'll get you the flyers and come see the show. We've got Lucy was here today. She lit the chalice. She's going to be there. Her parents are there. Belle is here with us. She's going to be here. We've got a great opportunity for you to do some supporting of many folks in the community. And more than half of our acts are not from this congregation, folks. We're getting out. We're making a difference. Thank you.
The fundraising team is also leading our tabling effort at the protest this afternoon. Jeannie is going to be there. If anyone would like to help them out with that, we're going to put a table at the protest. The protest organizers have asked for faith communities with resources to table at this event, this protest this afternoon in Pack Square. Talk to Jeannie after if you want to join with her right there. Yep. And it's all arranged. We just need more people at the table would be great. And then now we have Les.
2 weeks from today is Music Sunday. This service features our choir, our in-house band, the Sandburgers, and some guest musicians, and the congregation. You get to sing. It'll be at 10 o'clock. Please note, it's at 10 a.m. We go to one service on June the 1st. Thank you.
Our community plate recipient this month is Riverlink, as it's been throughout the month, doing vital work to restore our rivers and streams. You can donate by check, but be sure to write community plate in the memo line. You can also donate online. The QR code will be up there in a minute. The work of this congregation is fully supported by y'all. We're grateful for you. We're grateful for your presence. And we celebrate your generosity each Sunday with music and thanks. You make us possible. The offering will now be gratefully collected. For the gifts of your presence, time, wisdom, and resources, we are grateful. And don't forget to join us for Soup Sunday in Sandberg Hall after service.
Please join in singing verse 1 and the refrain of Answering the Call of Love.
People doubt that another world is possible. Let's go prove them wrong, shall we? May we go forth in love and peace and power to love and serve this world. Amen.
Longtime son.